Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the English Conversation Podcast. I'm Sarah.
And I'm Daniel. Thanks for joining us again. Today, we are talking about one of my favorite topics, hobbies and interests.
That's right. In everyday conversations, being able to talk about your hobbies not only helps you connect with people, but also makes your English sound more natural and friendly.
Absolutely. I remember when I first started practicing English, people would often ask me about my hobbies. At first, I would freeze. I didn't know how to answer in a fun or interesting way.
That's such a common experience. Whether you're making new friends, chatting at a party, or meeting someone at work, sharing your interests is a great way to start a conversation.
You don't have to have an exciting hobby to join in. It can be something simple like reading, cooking, or even watching movies. What matters is being able to talk about what you enjoy.
And today, we will teach you the exact vocabulary and questions you will need. We will also practice small talk, give you tips on asking about other people's hobbies, and show you how to keep conversations going, all in easy, friendly English.
So, wherever you are listening, walking, working, relaxing, grab a notebook and join us as we explore hobbies, interests, and confident, natural English conversation. Let's get started.
All right, Daniel. Let's dive into how you can start a conversation about hobbies in English. Imagine you're meeting someone new. What could you say?
If I want to start off casually, I might say, "What do you do for fun?" Or, "Do you have any hobbies?" These questions are friendly and open.
Great examples. You can also ask, how do you spend your weekends? Or, what do you like to do in your free time? Phrasing questions this way makes people comfortable and encourages them to share.
That's true. And don't forget your tone. A relaxed voice and gentle smile make small talk much easier. You don't want it to sound like an interview.
Definitely. Let's do a quick role play. I meet you at a coffee shop, and I will start the conversation. Hi, it's great to finally meet you. So, what do you do for fun?
Hey, Sarah. Thanks for asking. I enjoy playing guitar and hiking. How about you?
I love painting, and I spend a lot of time reading novels. See how natural that feels? Listeners, try practicing these questions out loud.
Let's practice together. Do you have any hobbies? Now try, how do you spend your weekends? It's okay to repeat until it feels easy.
And if you're shy, remember that talking about hobbies is one of the best ways to break the ice. People enjoy sharing what makes them happy.
Plus, you might find something in common, and that's how friendships start.
Ready to talk about your own hobbies next? Let's keep the conversation going. Now that you know how to start a conversation, let's talk about how to share your own hobbies in English. Daniel, what's a natural way to do that?
You can start with simple sentences like, I love painting. I enjoy playing football. Or, one of my favorite hobbies is baking. Using the words love, enjoy, or favorite makes you sound enthusiastic.
That's a great point. Let's give some examples that add more detail. I love painting, especially watercolor landscapes. It's relaxing and helps me express myself. Or, I enjoy playing football with friends on weekends. It's fun and keeps me active.
Adding details makes your answer interesting and gives the other person something to ask about next. For example, one of my favorite hobbies is baking. I like trying new cake recipes and sharing them with family.
Exactly. And if you want to say how long you've had the hobby, you can add, I have been painting for 5 years. Or I started playing football when I was in school.
Let's practice together. Listeners, repeat after me. I enjoy listening to music in my free time. My favorite hobby is gardening. I enjoy playing football with friends on weekends. It's fun and keeps me active. I have been painting for 5 years.
If you want to mention more than one hobby, just link them with and or also. I love hiking, and I also like reading adventure books.
Great. Don't be afraid to share what you love, even if it feels simple. Any hobby is interesting when you tell your story.
You can also add why you like it. For example, I enjoy swimming because it's relaxing and good exercise. Or, I love drawing because it helps me focus and be creative.
Listeners, try to answer, what is your favorite hobby and why do you love it? Give it a go.
Now that you know how to talk about your hobbies, it's just as important to show interest when someone else shares theirs. Daniel, what's a good way to respond?
You can start by saying, that sounds interesting, or, oh, I have never tried that before. Tell me more. This shows you're curious and engaged.
Exactly. And asking follow-up questions keeps the conversation flowing naturally. For example, how long have you been doing that? Or what got you interested in it?
Another way is to ask about details, like, do you usually do it alone or with friends? Or, where do you usually practice or do that hobby?
And don't forget to use encouraging words such as, wow, that's cool, or no way, to keep the vibe friendly.
Let's try a quick sample conversation. I have been playing the guitar for about 3 years now.
Oh, that sounds interesting. How did you start?
I started because my favorite band inspired me.
Cool. Do you play in a band or just for fun?
That's a great example. When you ask about hobbies, people love to share stories. It makes your English sound more natural and shows you care.
Listeners, try repeating these follow-up questions. How long have you been doing that? What got you interested in it? Where do you usually practice or do that hobby?
Remember, asking questions is a key skill to keep conversations alive and make friends.
Absolutely. And the more you practice, the easier it gets.
Up next, we will talk about popular hobbies around the world.
Now, let's take a quick trip around the world and talk about some popular hobbies in different countries. Daniel, did you know that hobbies can vary a lot depending on where you live?
That's true. For example, in Japan, watching anime and practicing tea ceremony are popular hobbies. Meanwhile, in Brazil, many people love playing football or dancing samba.
Exactly. And in the United States, lots of people enjoy hiking and playing video games. Let's say some of these hobbies together to practice reading, hiking, playing chess, going fishing.
Here are some useful words and phrases for talking about hobbies. Collecting stamps, knitting, cycling, and photography.
Remember, your hobby doesn't have to be common or popular. What matters most is what you enjoy doing.
Try saying this out loud. One of my favorite hobbies is photography. I love collecting stamps because it's relaxing and interesting.
That's right. Knowing how to talk about popular hobbies from different cultures can make your English conversations even more fascinating.
and it might inspire you to try something new.
Now let's talk about how to describe how often you do your hobbies and how much you like them. Daniel, why do you think this is important?
Because it helps the person you're talking to understand more about you. Saying how often you do a hobby shows your level of interest.
Exactly. We use words like usually, often, sometimes, never, and time phrases like once a week, every weekend, or in my free time.
For example, you can say, I usually go hiking on weekends, or I sometimes watch movies after work. This helps paint a clearer picture.
You can also describe your preference using phrases like, I love, I enjoy, or I'm really into. For example, I love playing tennis because it's challenging and fun. Or, I'm really into reading mystery novels.
Let's practice some sentences together. I often listen to music when I'm cooking. I usually paint in the evenings. I usually go hiking on weekends. I'm really into reading romantic novels.
Another useful phrase is, my favorite hobby is. You can say, my favorite hobby is gardening because I find it relaxing.
And when you want to talk about things you don't like or don't do, you can say, I'm not really into video games, or I don't usually go fishing.
Using these expressions will help your conversations sound more natural and interesting. Listeners, try describing your hobbies now. Use frequency or preference words. For example, I usually or I love.
Great job! Keep practicing, and soon talking about your hobbies will feel easy and natural.
It's time for our vocabulary spotlight. Daniel, can you share some key words and phrases related to hobbies that our listeners should know?
Of course! Let's start with some common verbs we use when talking about hobbies: play, do, go, and collect.
Right. For example, we say play football, do yoga, go hiking, and collect stamps. It's important to remember which verb goes with which hobby.
Now some adjectives that describe hobbies and activities: relaxing, exciting, challenging, and creative.
For example, you might say, painting is a relaxing hobby, or climbing mountains is challenging but exciting.
We also use fillers like actually, honestly, and to be honest when sharing opinions about hobbies.
Let's practice some sentences. Repeat after me. Actually, I really enjoy playing basketball. Now try, to be honest, hiking is my favorite hobby.
Great job! Learning these words will help you sound more natural and interesting when talking about your interests.
And remember, if you want to learn more hobbies vocabulary, practice by listening to conversations and reading about activities you love.
All right, listeners, keep these vocabulary words in mind as we move on to practice real conversations.
Now it's your turn to practice. Daniel and I will do a role play where we meet for the first time and talk about our hobbies. Listen carefully and try to repeat or answer as we go.
Sounds good, Sarah. I'll start. Hi, I'm Daniel. It's nice to meet you. So, what do you like to do in your free time?
Hi, Daniel. Nice to meet you too. I love reading books and going hiking on weekends. How about you?
That sounds fun. I enjoy playing basketball and listening to music. How long have you been hiking?
I've been hiking for about 3 years. It's a great way to relax and exercise. What about basketball?
I've played basketball since I was a kid. It's my favorite sport. Do you like any sports?
I like swimming, but I'm still learning. Do you go swimming often?
Not really, but I'm interested in trying more water sports.
Now it's your turn. Try asking your friend, "What hobbies do you enjoy?" And answer with what you like.
Great. Remember, practice makes perfect. Try repeating the lines we said, or even make up your own questions and answers based on your hobbies.
You can also practice with a partner or record yourself to improve your fluency and confidence. Keep using these phrases, and soon talking about your interests will feel natural and easy. Ready for the next part? Daniel, sharing your personal stories about hobbies is a great way to make your English more natural and interesting. Do you have a story you can share with our listeners?
Sure, Sarah. One time I joined a local painting class, even though I had never painted before. At first I was nervous and thought, I'm not very good at this. But after a few sessions, I really enjoyed it. Now, painting is one of my favorite hobbies.
That's a wonderful story. It shows how trying something new can help you grow. I have a story too. When I was younger, I loved reading mystery books. Once, I joined a book club and met so many friends who shared that interest. It made reading even more fun.
Listeners, sharing your stories about hobbies helps your listeners connect with you and makes conversations memorable.
Try telling a story about a hobby or interest. It doesn't have to be perfect English, just speak from the heart.
Here's a question for you to practice. Can you tell me about a hobby you started recently? Or what's your favorite memory related to your hobby?
Remember, stories are a great way to practice your English and make your conversations lively and real. Okay, listeners, let's review some of the important phrases and vocabulary we learned today about talking about hobbies and interests.
We started with questions you can ask to start a conversation, like, what do you do for fun? Do you have any hobbies? And how do you spend your weekends?
Then we practice talking about your own hobbies. Remember phrases like, "I love painting." "One of my favorite hobbies is baking." And how to add details with, "I've been painting for 5 years."
We also learned how to show interest in others by saying things like, that sounds interesting, and asking follow-ups like, how long have you been doing that?
And don't forget the vocabulary spotlight words: relaxing, exciting, challenging, and creative. These help you describe hobbies better.
Now, let's practice some full phrases together. Repeat after us. I usually go hiking on weekends because it's relaxing.
One of my favorite hobbies is playing the guitar.
What hobbies do you enjoy?
Where do you usually practice or do that hobby?
Great. Practicing out loud like this will help you remember and use these phrases naturally.
Keep practicing, and soon, talking about your interests will feel easy and fun.
Thanks for practicing with us today. We hope you're ready to share your hobbies with confidence.
Wow, Daniel, we really covered a lot of ground today, from starting conversations about hobbies to sharing your personal stories.
Yes, and remember, it's okay if you make mistakes. The important thing is to keep practicing and using these phrases in your daily life.
Absolutely. Talking about hobbies is a great way to connect with new people, make friends, and sound more natural in English.
And don't forget, being curious about other people's interests by asking questions keeps your conversations alive and fun.
Thanks so much for listening to the English Conversation podcast. We hope you feel more confident talking about your hobbies now.
If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, leave us a comment telling us about your favorite hobby, and share this with your friends.
We'll see you next time with more fun and useful English conversations. Until then, keep practicing and happy learning.
Goodbye, everyone.